He said we sound good.
All right, everybody, welcome back. It's time for the post-game edition of Silver and Black today, an Aussie Sports Original Podcast. Also heard on the radio, 101.5 KDON and 840 KXNT in Las Vegas. Scott Gulbransen, joined by my good friend Murf from Raiders Fan Radio, who is live right now outside of Allegiant Stadium, where the Raiders end the losing streak. They win 14-12 on a 60-yard field goal by Daniel Carlson. So the long nightmare that dates back to October is over. Not only did the Raiders win, they win twice today. They won before they even stepped on the field. The Giants win, beat the Cowboys. So guess what? The Raiders are assured of the number one pick in the draft. And now they end the season on a high note in what should be Pete Carroll's last game as head coach of the Las Vegas Raiders. Thanks for being with us. We'll have video drop-ins in a bit. I will post the the link in just a minute, but we go out to Murf now. First of all, Murf, tell me a little bit about, I saw a lot of Chiefs fans there. We expected that, but tell me a little bit about how the mood was knowing that Raider fans wanted the Raiders to get that number one pick. How was the mood going in, tailgating, all that stuff?
The tailgate was an absolute blast. Shout out our buddy Gil, man. He threw out a bomb tailgate, the tacos, the freaking cocktails, like everything was absolutely incredible. And it was it was kind of a ghost town out here earlier in Lot J. Like it was much quieter than it normally would have been. But these couple of blocks in here where Gil has his tailgate was fantastic. Raider Nation was on fire. And then once that giant victory came in, it was like it turned into much more of a party atmosphere because everybody wants to watch the Raiders win. No one wants to see the Raiders lose. So to be able to have that number one pick locked in and be able to go into Allegiant Stadium and root on our Raiders, like it was absolutely perfection, man. And so the only thing I would say that was really interesting, and we were keeping track, we counted 20 different teams' jerseys walking through the freaking the tailgate. It was wild, Scott, to see that there is, like, it got to the point where I don't know if it's the casinos handing out free tickets to high rollers or what that thing is, but there were so many different teams' jerseys, different fans walking through the tailgate. It was really interesting. But anyways, point being, though, most importantly, anyways, the Raiders win. The Raiders win a close one. The Raiders win at the end, and Allegiant Stadium got loud towards the end, like shockingly loud. Like for as many Chiefs fans and all those other teams fans I was just talking about, it was awesome in Allegiant Stadium today. Good energy, man.
That's really good to hear. And yeah, I mean, probably some hangover from New Year's Eve. A lot of people milling around town since it's only been a few days, maybe staying the extra part of the week to get out. So who knows? But yeah, that's the one thing I said. The Raiders have been 9-16 at Allegiant Stadium before today since 2023. And that's what I said. I say it would be really nice now that the number one pick is wrapped up so people can look towards the future and get that quarterback. Now also it would be nice for Raider Nation to head into the offseason to feel a win because of all the pain this year. And now I will tell you, and you were there, and I'm sure you were having a good time as you guys always do when you're out there, but what a crappy game. I mean, at the point where the Raiders won the game, the broadcast was talking about there had never been an NFL game that ended with a score of 12-11, and there had never been a game in the NFL, and this might still stand, where there was only field goals and 7 field goals and a safety scored in a game. All the scoring now is 8 with the one at the end there. So that was rough. But again, even despite the large presence of red jerseys, which just, I know, drives Raider Nation crazy, it's good to hear the atmosphere was out there. But what about the conversation? I mean, I think we have a good beat between your show, our show, on what Raider Nation was thinking. You still feel that sort of energy around the Raiders taking that number one pick and getting that quarterback, specifically Fernando Mendoza?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And to go to your point about the game not being good, yeah, I mean, it was really kind of low energy for the most part of that game. Because I mean, that was a snoozer, man. There was a lot of people talking about that game against the Vikings where we lost 3-0. Like it was like that kind of energy. So it was, but and people weren't locked in until very, very late in the game. But when it comes to Fernando Mendoza and it comes to the importance of the number one draft pick, Scott, yes, that is
Yeah.
the absolute number one thing on everybody's mind. Is the number one topic of conversation amongst Raider fans is that what are we going to do with the number one pick? Are we going to draft Mendoza? And we don't want it to be with this current staff. I mean, listen, I
Yeah.
can respect what other people's accomplishments and the coaching staff's accomplishments have been in the past and with other organizations, but that has nothing to do with your Las Vegas Raiders. We are 100% invested with the outcome of the Las Vegas Raiders and do not entrust it to the current staff that is in place. And I think that is very important for Mark or Tom or Jim Gray or whoever the hell is making the calls on this damn thing, or John Spike, just like make the right call, get us a very competent, preferably offensive coaching staff to bring up this young man. We know that it's going to be attractive to those offensive coordinators, to those guys that, to the Joe Brady's, the Kubiaks, to those guys that are going to be up and coming. We know that's going to be an attractive position for them because they're going to have. Listen, if you didn't watch Fernando Mendoza in this last bowl game, then like check it out. And don't just watch the highlights. You and Mo talked about this the other day. Don't just watch the highlights. Watch what he does game in and game out and the absolute dissection that he has on a defense, reads the defense, identifies protections, all the things that the Raiders struggle with today, whether that be with frickin' Kenny Pickett or with Aiden O'Connell, they have so much trouble identifying protections and setting it up to where
Mm.
they don't have frickin' unmanned blitzers coming in and rocking their world. Like those are the things that Mendoza does, and he's done it against the absolute, top-notch NFL, or excuse me, top-notch NCAA teams this year. And I mean, I'm not trying to talk about too much here, and I don't want to speak anything over him yet. But like, if that young man, he's already won the Heisman. If he doesn't win a Natty this year, I'd be
Yeah.
shocked. And so I would love, and so would all these people that are out here in the tailgate walking out of Allegiant Stadium. All of us would love to see Fernando Mendoza and that number 15 in freaking silver and black.
Yeah, and it's also something to say, you look, every player has positives and negatives, right? Every single player. I don't care how good they are or how marginal they're, whoever. And he's no different than that. But I think you look at the character and the leadership. You and I talk about
100%.
business on this show all the time. That
Hmm.
character and leadership, that means the kid's going to come in and what he needs to work on, you can bet he's going to work on it. And then if Brady does get more involved, we don't know that for sure, but if he does, especially with the quarterback coming in, then boy, that's a pretty good guy to learn from, right? Is Tom
Heck
Brady.
yeah, man.
So you got to do it.
Absolutely.
Let me ask you this other question too, because you had
Okay.
tweeted out a photo early in the game saying that, hey, I'm glad to see Maxx Crosby back on the sideline. We've heard a lot in the last few days about that maybe Maxx Crosby might get traded. The Raiders might finally be open to trading him. What was the chatter amongst fans in Raider Nation out in Las Vegas at the stadium about that situation?
It was curious because we all expect that, listen, as much as we're reluctant and we're Maxx Crosby fans, we all understand the concept and the value of the draft capital and everything that can be related to a team that is literally building from the studs up or even the foundation up, Scott. Like,
Mhm.
and so I think there's definitely a common understanding that if they move on, they move on. But that said, in a testament to his character, one of the things that we as fans have been critical of was that he took off from the facility when he got sat down. And it was like, well, you're Mr. Always at the facility, and now you don't want to be around when it comes time to
Mm.
frickin', you know what I mean? For when it's game time. But so to his credit, he was back. He was hanging out a lot with him and Dalton Wagner are boys, apparently, because he was hanging out a lot with Dalton Wagner, hanging out with JPJ, hanging out with Brock Bowers, hanging out with Tyree Wilson, hanging out with obviously and Snowden and all of his brethren on the defensive line, the defensive ends. But it was like, it was really cool to see him engaged. He wasn't just sitting on the sideline. He wasn't just or on the bench anyways. He wasn't just unattached. Like he was very invested in the game, pacing up and down the sidelines, following the team offensively and defensively up the field. And it's like those are the kind of things that means a lot. And I know that like media will speculate, we as fans will speculate and like try to like figure out where the freaking tea leaves are going to go. But I think all of us could absolutely agree as fans. Maxx Crosby's the face of this organization, and we would all love to see him remain and end his career in the silver and black. But if it doesn't happen that way, as much as we may not like it, it's okay too, because at least there'll be a move towards the future for the team.
Yeah, and I know the frustrations of Raider Nation through this long season. I mean, you're talking almost 3 months, 2.5 since the last win. That weighed a lot on people. But for the people there, I mean, look, we know Raider Nation are diehard fans. It doesn't matter win or loss. Yeah, they might not be happy with losses, but they're always going to show up. So for the audience there, for the Raider fans there, did you sense? And I you kind of already talked about this a little bit, but I want to retouch on it, which is, did you sense a feeling of some optimism finally, even before the win?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Once I'm telling you, once it was like a switch got flipped when that Giants win came in. When they were up 33-17 with 5 minutes left in the fourth quarter, whatever. Swag Jeff is hooting and hollering it here at the tailgate, telling everybody that like that was the and it was like, okay, they can't lose this, right? There's no way the Giants could screw this thing up. And so then it was like everybody singing freaking I don't even like ABBA, Scott, but everybody's singing Fernando. Like it was a whole scene. Like once that thing started to unfold. So yeah, there's a lot of optimism in the air tonight. And you know what? It's funny is that, like, listen, I know the thing happened with AP, the way it happened with AP, and the way that worked out. But we were here for the very last game against the Denver Broncos a couple years ago when Antonio Pierce finished off the year, and the Raiders finished off the year with a win against the Denver Broncos and walked up the field as the interim head coach. And everybody was fired up for that guy to be the new full-time head coach. And there was a big energy in the air out here amongst Raider fans. It's very similar to that. But it has nothing to do with the Raiders winning, which is funny because it's like, well, it was great the Raiders won, but it's better that the Giants won. Like that's the thing that freaking put this thing together for us.
Yeah, no, that sounds good. And I mean, that's what I figured would happen today, especially with the fact that the whole draft order thing could be decided before the game. So that's fantastic. All right, what we're going to do now is I'm going to post the link for folks out there, and we want to be cognizant of Murph standing out in the cold in Las Vegas with his lovely wife holding the camera for him. So I'm gonna put it out there in the chat. We'll get some folks on here before we got to say goodbye to Murph, and then I'll
Okay.
take some more after that. So we'll get that going. So the link is now posted. If you want to drop in on video, we're going to take you in there. I got lots of people in the chat, as you can imagine, Murph. But we'll get some folks on there as well. How about Las Vegas? You know, we heard a lot about Las
Oh,
Vegas being dead. How was it? Was it crowded? How did you feel like? What was the atmosphere on the Strip?
I'm so happy you asked that, man. Because when my wife and I landed, so we landed at 7:40 a.m. because we're ridiculous, and got up and flew up practically over the middle of the night. Got to the Las Vegas airport, and it was a ghost town. And then
Really?
we're staying at the Vidara and the Aria. We got there, it was an absolute ghost town. By noon, it was bumping. There was a million people here. Again, tons of NFL fans, tons of fans of lots of different teams, as I mentioned, but that's okay. Like it's still Vegas. It's a destination city, but it's been kind of hopping, man. It's like Vegas. Like I don't the rumors that Vegas is dead. Nah, I don't believe it, man. It ain't the case. Vegas is there's plenty of folks here having fun. And we got to enjoy a lot of time at a lot of different casinos. A lot of times at the different bars. Go
Yep.
figure. And yeah, and it's been a blast. It's been an absolute blast. And Vegas is undefeated, Scott. Vegas, Nashville, like there's a handful of cities in the United States. They're just undefeated. You can't not have a good time. And if you don't have a good time, then that's on you.
Well, and now I'm looking forward to seeing what next season is like with that excitement, because there's going to be lots of change. We don't know all of it. I would imagine the stage change will start tomorrow. I don't see Pete Carroll getting let go today, especially after a win, and the reverence there for his past. As you said, you
Sure.
respect the past, but you don't get credit for that after a 3-14 season. So we'll see that. All right, we're going to go, Murph, we're going to go real quick out to Rossi. Rossi's joining us again, all the way from down under in Australia. Who we got there, Murph? Who's that?
This is Gil. I just want to give some quick respect to our buddy Fabricator Gil, longtime listener, longtime listener of the show, and more importantly, a very good real life friend outside from our show. Throws out
Nice.
a bomb tailgate and brings the RFR crew out here to games every year. And we
Yeah.
cannot thank you and his wife Jerry. Happy birthday, Jerry. We
Nice.
cannot thank them enough for what they do for us out here, not only for all of Raider Nation, serving up tailgate, the tacos, the drinks, everything. Everybody that's here at the tailgate, these folks put on an amazing party, and we can't thank them enough.
That's awesome.
Why I listen to him. He's grounded. got me through tough times, and I've been listening to this since episode 20. So, I mean, I respect you.
Thank you, Gil. Thank you, brother.
That's awesome.
Thank you,
All
brother.
right. Shout out to Gil and his
Big
wife.
line.
Happy birthday. She got a birthday. The
Man,
Raiders
he's
gave her a
therapy.
birthday present. You got to love that.
Absolutely.
All right. Now we're going to
Is
Murf.
that-
Murf, Rossi's with us. So I'm sure Rossi's got
What's up,
something to say to
Rossi?
you.
How we
Hey,
doing,
Rossi.
man?
Doing better
good?
now that you're on the show, Rossi.
I'm just so happy and yeah, bring on the Mendoza. Bring on the serenading
Bring on the
of
Mendoza.
songs. Exactly. Just bring it on. I'm done. Like, hopefully he's fired now, but obviously it will be in 24 hours time. You've just talked about a lot of changes to come in, Scott. I'll tell you the biggest change, and Murf, I'm excited because I think next year I'll be able to coordinate with you. That stadium will not be half full of away fans because everybody will want to see Mendoza play in silver and black.
For sure.
That's one of the biggest changes outside of the roster. Look, we saw one of the worst preseason games in week 18 today. It was terrible. It was even to the point where I actually thought that Lube was fumbling on purpose to maybe, maybe we still need to lose so that we've got the 33rd pick, not the 34th pick, because of the way that the second and third rounds come out. But man, it's a happy day. It's a really, really happy day.
Hey, can I highlight
Murf.
something there that Rossi is talking about? I think it's incredibly important for us to recognize that not only do we have the number one pick in the draft, we have the number one pick in the second round. We got the number one pick in the third round. Like, that goes a long way for a team that is absolutely deficient at multiple positions. Swag Jeff and I were talking about it today. Like, okay, you sure get Mendoza, get the quarterback, the most important position in all of team sports. But then what's next? It's offensive line. It's cornerback, maybe. It's wide receiver, maybe. It's a lot, but mainly probably offensive line to protect your young man that you're drafting in the first round.
Sure.
And so, like, that is an incredibly, Scott, I think an important thing for us as fans, as Raider fans, and I'm sure media will reflect this as well going forward. That's a huge thing to have those early picks in those later rounds.
Well, and not only that, you mentioned the picks, 11 picks, plus you have $100+ million in cap space. And you add in, hopefully, an offensive-minded new head coach with a nice built-out staff. And suddenly, to Rossi's point, the excitement level for Raider Nation should probably be higher than it's been in years because of that, because you add all that together.
Scott.
And if they make the right – now, they got to nail it in free agency. I get that. But still, for the first time, you do have to build a foundation. But for the first time in a long time, you're going to have the ability to do that, not only in the draft, but also in free agency. And never in my life, on my bingo card, before the season started, did I think that I would hear Tough Rumble, Hardcore Raider Nation singing ABBA. Did you? Never. ABBA is not on the Raiders soundtrack.
No,
ever.
no. Too short, yes. ABBA, no.
And suddenly it is. So there you go. Rossi, my man, thanks so much, brother. You take care down there.
It's all good, guys.
See you, Rossi.
Let's have a draft party.
Yeah, draft
do
party.
it.
There you go. I love it. All right, now we're going out to Pastor Mike.
Ah,
What's
Pastor
up,
Mike,
guys?
Scott and Murf with you here. Murf's there in Vegas, as you can see. He's right in front of the Death Star.
hey,
Yeah,
Pastor.
man, I'm a little jealous, man. I'm a little jealous, but I wasn't able to go. I'm actually, my second job is a flight nanny for We Raise Puppies. So I was in Seattle
Wow.
today.
Wow.
I
Oh,
flew
wow.
to Seattle this morning, dropped off 2 puppies, and then I just flew back. I just got back a couple hours ago. But yeah, hey, yeah, good day. I mean, with the Giants winning, it was like, okay, good, because I didn't want to. I never root for them to lose, but I didn't want that. I didn't want to be pissed if they won. So I'm so glad that they did. And I just think, who knows what's going to happen? I don't know if they're going to march. If Pete's going to come out, a la Jack Del Rio and say, Mark just fired me. I don't know if that's going to happen or not. But, I just can't see him coming back, for next year. There's just no way. And it's interesting because he, the last few press conferences, he's like, I don't really get it. It's like they're competing, they're doing really well in practice, and obviously they're not doing that well. He's had to have lost a step somewhere, right? I mean, so, but I'm excited to, get the number 1 pick, and we let, John Spytek, cook, and we'll go from there, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. No, there's, as Murf said, there was good, I'm sure, cautiously optimistic, some excitement there in the stadium, despite the fact that you're being at the end of a really long and terrible season. But knowing that you had that pick before you even went on the field had to be just a massive release for all of you, right? Especially you too, Pastor Mike, just being like, okay, now whatever happens, I don't have to worry about it.
Exactly. And, I'm excited to see, if we can rebuild this thing and, get back to, the way the Raiders used to be. I mean, I have hope, and hopefully, it'll be interesting. But I just think they really need to give John Spytek, he's got to be the man. So let him hire the coach, and I know Brady, Brady's busy, but, with Brady's help, but I think he'll, if they let him cook, I think it'll be just fine. And maybe this was the plan all along. Who knows? Spytek never said that we were going to win that much this year. So as a matter of fact, he kind of, I think like early in the year or before the season even started, he was like, pump the brakes, let's, we don't know what it's going to look like. Right. So I'm excited.
Yeah, that was all Pete Carroll, right? Because he wanted to win because that was about him. And obviously that didn't work out. Pastor Mike, man, thanks so much, brother. We appreciate it.
All right, guys. We'll see you later.
Hey, Pastor, we'll hope we see you out here next year because there's plenty of people in this parking lot that could use your assistance.
They need a little bit of religion out there. There you go.
Yes, sir.
All right, Murf, we're gonna take a quick break here to hear from my friends at Sleeper, and then we'll be right back. This is Silver and Black Today, the postgame edition. Raiders 14-12 winners. They win off the field. They have the first pick in the 2026 NFL draft. Don't go anywhere. We're coming right back. All right, everybody, it's that time where I tell you about Sleeper Picks. You don't have Sleeper Picks yet? Go download the app now and take advantage of our special offer here at Silver and Black Today. That's right. If you deposit up to $100, they will match up to $100. You want to put in 20, they'll match your 20. Whatever you're going to match up to 100, Sleeper Picks will do that with our special code GENTY. That's GENTY as in Ashton Genty, the Raiders running back. If you do that today, you're going to be able to join me as I pick our final Sunday night game for the daily fantasy picks from Sleeper Picks. You haven't done it all year? Get on. Let's go. Here we go. Here's my picks. Tonight's big game, Baltimore, and of course, Pittsburgh for that AFC North title. We're going Derrick Henry. Will he go over 90 yards? I don't think so, but I'm going to go 70 because you just don't know with Harbaugh whether he's going to use him or not enough. I don't know why. The guy is an absolute tank, but he doesn't use him as much as he probably should. Then Lamar Jackson. He's been hampered by that injury, so his rushing yards, 26.5. I'm going to take the 26.5. I was tempted to go 25 where everybody else is going, but I'm going 26.5 Lamar Jackson with those rushing yards. Now, on the Steelers side, you look at Aaron Rodgers, 208.5 passing yards. Rodgers, the wily veteran, can Pittsburgh win this? I, for some reason, think Baltimore is going to take this game and send Aaron Rodgers packing, that is. So here's what I got. Derrick Henry, over 70 yards rushing. Lamar Jackson's over 26.5 yards rushing, and Aaron Rodgers over 208.5 in passing. That's those three picks. Daily fantasy football on Sleeper Picks only. $20 on that is going to net you $71.80. If I'm right and you're right, come do it with me. You can't beat Sleeper Picks for daily fantasy football. Mo and I have been telling you this all year long. Go do it now. Get that match on that deposit using the code GENTY. That's GENTY. Use that when you put your deposit down, and they will match your deposit full 100% up to $100. Make sure you check out the Sleeper Picks website or the Sleeper Pick app for rules and regulations. And don't forget, it's not available in every state, but most likely in your state. Come play daily fantasy football with me for this Sunday night game, Baltimore and Pittsburgh for the AFC North. All right, welcome back to the live post-game show here on Silver and Black Today. Raiders 14-12 winners over the Kansas City Chiefs. They finished the season 3-14. And more importantly, they get that number one pick in the draft with the Giants win earlier in the day. Scott Gulbransen and Murf, from Raiders Fan Radio live at Lot J at Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas, Nevada, is joining us as well. And we are doing live viewer drop-ins. Now we're going out, Murf, to our buddy Tarek up in the Windy City. There's Tarek in his, it looks like, are those pajamas, man? Or what are those? Just a shirt?
Just the shirt. Just the shirt.
Oh, I thought maybe it was like the old school underwear with the flap in the back. I was going to make you turn around, but that's okay. We'll go that. But Tarek's ready, man. How'd you feel today? Tell me.
I feel great, guys. I got to quickly get in a verse. There was something in the air that night. The stars were bright. Fernando Mendoza. All right, no, you guys, it's been 19 years since we had a quarterback. It's been 19 years since we drafted Jameet Loaf-Russell. Pete Carroll is supposed to be stepping down hopefully tonight. Hopefully tonight's the night. We can continue this glorious day. But I want to quickly say, you guys, the formula is in place. The formula is in place. Get the front office. I want to echo what Pastor Mike said. Give all authority to Spytech. Brady is a 10% owner. He's got his Fox gig. Mark Davis has an affinity for big names. Don't let Brady step in and have the final say in any of these big-time decisions. Give it to Spytech. Let him do his coaching search. Free agency begins 3/11/26. We got $121 million in cap money. Spend it on the offensive line. We're going to have our quarterback. We have our running back. We have our tight end. None of that matters if you cannot block. I think this is a golden opportunity, you guys. Cap money. Number 1 overall pick. And like you said, Murf, the number 1 pick in the second round, in the third round, subsequent rounds. We have 10 draft picks, and it's nice to see that the free agency period, the draft are in consecutive months, right? So the Maxx Crosby thing was obviously blown out of proportion, just something to write. I didn't like the whole social media thing, but back with his teammates. We'll see if he's a part of this, you guys. But I expect that Carroll, supposedly, if he refuses to step down, he'll be fired tonight. And if he agrees to step down, it'll happen tomorrow. So I'm on the edge of my seat waiting for that to happen, guys. But it's nice to see the season end. Let's proceed to a wonderful offseason.
There you go. Murf, I can't add anything to say. I thought he said it perfectly.
I love the energy, Tarek, man. I love it, man. I can hear that you're fired up. I can hear that you're fired up for the future. And the only thing that I would say in rebuttal is that, my goodness, if we try to do another Patriots reunion by bringing in Brian Flores and freaking and Dable, like, bro, that's gonna be rough, man. Like, I'm hoping that we pair up our first round draft pick, which better be Fernando Mendoza, up with an offensive minded head coach. You got Brock Bowers, as you mentioned, you got Ashton Genty. We'll build up that line in front of them and then let it simmer, let it cook. Let those guys do what they're going to do for the next 3 to 5 years. And at a minimum, at least as fans, and I'll speak selfishly for us as fans, it'll give us something to root for.
Yeah,
absolutely. Let's hope we hear a statement from Spytech now that the season's over before that head coaching search begins.
Yeah, I'm sure we will. Tarek, my man, thanks so much for dropping in. We appreciate you.
Happy New Year. Bye-bye.
Take care, brother.
See you, Tarek.
Right, there you go. By the way, that whole Brian Flores thing, because I've had a lot of people message me or post at me that they like Brian Flores. And I'm not anywhere in favor. What about from when you talk to people today out there in Las Vegas? What was their opinion on that?
Everybody wants an offensive coach. We all want an offensive coach for a multitude of reasons. And being that if you hire a defensive coordinator, look, just the bottom line is that if you have a successful offensive coordinator to go along with your defensive head coach, okay, then he's going to move on. And so you're always going to be in this constant churn of coordinators. There's a reason that guys like, I know it's not, I understand there are successful defensive coaches in the NFL. I get that. But the way that it's running now is that when you have an offensive-minded head coach that they can take over and they can be there for a long time. You look at Sean McVay, you look at Sean Payton, you look at Andy Reid, you look at these guys. That's what they do. And so they're not churning through coordinators like the defensive coaches are. And so I'm a fan of like, let's pair them up with the quarterback and then let those guys have a 10, 15, maybe 18-year career together. I mean, all things God willing, like that would be the ideal situation for the Raiders. And this is the first time we've got an opportunity to do that. So let's not do the Brian Dable thing, because if Brian Dable comes in and does well with Mendoza and the offensive line and the protections and all the things that can go well, guess what? He's gone. And
Yeah.
now we're trying to do it all over again. It's like, no,
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of that, man. I'm not a fan.
It's a great point. It's a great point. I like those younger coaches bringing in the continuation of that coaching tree that they were part of, and then they bring young guys with them. And it
Yes.
takes them a few years to develop their resume. And yeah, after 3 or 4 years, if an offensive coordinator goes and gets a head coaching job somewhere, so be it. But you have everybody wants in Raider Nation wants continuity, and I think that's an opportunity to do that.
Yes.
All right, we're going right out to Raider Rube. Rube with
Hey,
his
Rube.
sunglasses on. Look, he's feeling cool because the Raiders won.
What up, Rube?
We won. Hey, Murph. We won. We tanked successfully. I don't believe in much in life, but I believe in the tank. And the tank worked out beautifully this year, because not only did we tank to get the #1 pick, and the Giants helped us out, but we got to beat the Chiefs.
Yes.
I mean, it was ugly. It was a hard game to watch, but we're used to that this year. The fact that we actually won one, that's great. So very excited about how it all laid out. Excited about the $100 million, the 10 draft picks, the #1 pick in each round, Fernando Mendoza. All that is going to be great. I will say, from the coaching perspective, I didn't want to fire Pete Carroll after week 4. 2 reasons. I think that was going to look like dysfunctional, and 2, it was going to ruin the tank.
Yeah.
Well, once the Chip Kelly thing happened and we didn't show any improvement, looked worse than an Antonio Pierce team, then I said, okay, now we should get rid of the coach. So now we should get rid of Pete Carroll. I will say, I think we should be open-minded about whatever coach they're looking to get, whether that's a defensive guy or an offensive guy. I want an offensive guy, but it's not a great class for offensive coaches, so we might be stuck there. If we get a defensive guy, I'll throw out a Robert Saleh as an example. If he brings in a Shanahan-McVay type to be his offensive coordinator, yeah, that guy might go off and become a head coach somewhere. But if he keeps plucking from that tree and he just keeps going back to the Shanahan-McVay tree every time he has to replace a coordinator, at least the scheme and the system will stay the same. It might be a different coach, but if you keep picking from that tree, he might be okay. It's not ideal, but I think that's not terrible. That's why I don't like the Dayball thing, because if Dayball leaves, I don't know how many people are from that tree, that Patriot offensive tree. But if it's a Shanahan-McVay guy, just keep picking whoever that coach is that stands behind Sean McVay that pulls him into the sideline, that guy, just hire that guy to be the offensive coordinator, because as long as he's been near Sean McVay, they seem to be pretty brilliant. So just keep hiring little side, whatever assistant coach Sean McVay decides to hire, and you'll probably be okay. The system will be the same. You won't have to change your roster dramatically. Just keep the same scheme.
Yeah, and I think there's a lot of people who feel that way too, Rube, as far as, hey, just get the best coach you can. But Murph, look, you don't hire coaches based on what fans think. They're supposed to be guys a lot smarter than us hiring those coaches, right? But Murph, I think fans in general, not that they would be disappointed with a guy if he's got a good background and, as Rube said, comes out of a good tree, but I think the excitement is around getting somebody who you can look at and say, boy, this is somebody who offensively is a bright mind, not the coordinator, but the actual head coach.
Yeah, I agree. And and it's time for no retreads. We don't want retreads at quarterback. We don't want retreads at head coach. We're like let's move into something new, man. We've done the retread thing, because think about it. Outside of Dennis Allen, it's our entire coaching staff has been nothing but retreads. You had, of course, the Antonio Pierce effect, but that was a very unique situation.
Yeah.
But that's where the Raiders have gone, is that they're chasing. I've said this on Raiders Fan Radio a few weeks ago, is that the Raiders have been chasing ghosts for how long? Fans talk about Derek Carr still. Fans talk about John Gruden still. Fans talk about, it's like, enough with the reunions, enough. And in this case, it's the Patriots thing, talking about Brian Dable and Brian Flores. No more chasing ghosts. Let's do some fresh faces, pair them up with fresh players. Let's hit the damn reset button on this thing. We're obviously doing it with the front office. So then let that thing trickle down. I think it's very important for this organization to not only do that, but then create a very something came up, Scott. This made me think of you a lot this week. A lot of the conversations that we've had about assigning a president of football operations to the Raiders, or at least a cascading power structure. Okay,
Right.
the Tennessee Titans came out this week and absolutely did that and said, here's our general manager. Here's who's got control of the roster. Here's who's going to hire our head coach. Here's what our coordinators are going to do. It was like a very clean, lined out thing of what an organizational structure is going to look like for that football team. It's past time for the Raiders to follow that suit.
Yeah, absolutely. Rube, thanks for being with us, brother. You take care.
Thanks.
Thank you,
See you guys
Rube.
later.
Good to see you, bro.
All right. There we go. We got a time for a couple more so we can let Murf get out of there.
My poor wife is freezing her ass off over here.
Okay. So you guys got to be quick with your comments here, but we're going out to Captain Refucho. What's up, brother?
What's up, Rafa?
Hey, what's going on, everybody? I just wanted to tell you, after Chiefs, and we got the #1 spot on the draft.
There you go. You're feeling happy.
Yeah, I'm truly happy right now because right now it is the perfect time to choose the best quarterback ever on the market. I know a lot of Raider fans, they just want Francisco Mendoza, which is from the Indiana Hoosiers. But I think it's going to be like a perfect fit for Las Vegas Raiders because it's all about mentality, it's all about leadership, it's all about discipline. And of course, his gratitude because he's a top quarterback prospect. I mean that he's highly regarded as a potential franchise quarterback because they're going to expect to target him with a top pick. And I know it's going to be like a strong candidate to fill the gap left for Geno Smith, who has struggled with interceptions this season because nobody wants Geno Smith with all their interceptions right now. I mean, forget about Geno Smith, forget about Gardner Minshew, forget about like Jimmy Garoppolo. I think it's going to be like a real good time to choose a quarterback and not to really mess up because we don't want to commit the same mistake around for the 2006, 2007 with Jamarcus Russell. Never going to happen because right now it is our chance to hit the lottery, hit the jackpot with the best quarterback ever on the planet, whether it was Fernando Mendoza, Dante Moore, or anything else for the quarterback because our priority is a quarterback always. And the rest, we're going to invest for the cash pace around for the offensive line because I know between for the offensive line is going to gap into the hole, something like that. But we need that. We need that.
Absolutely. Captain, thanks for being with us, man. You take care of yourself now. We appreciate you dropping in. All right. We're going to close it out, Murf, with our good buddy, Kevin.
Oh, close it out with Kevin. Love it, Kevin.
There he is.
Hey, Murf, what's going on?
He was wearing a bag on his head last week. I don't see it this week.
I just have a very important question for one remarkable young man out there, and that is, can you hear the autumn wind drums, Fernando? First of all, I want to give a shout out, by the way. Thank you, Murf, for having Fabricator Gil on there because he's hooked me up with a ticket.
Oh, nice.
And I want to thank Fabricator Gil. That guy is awesome. Thank you. Thank you very much. I also want to thank the New York Giants for lifting a little bit of burden off our shoulders here as fans, not just for beating the Cowboys. Thank you very much for that, but also letting us know that at the game time we had the #1 pick and that we can actually now root for the Raiders to beat the Chiefs, to stop the Chiefs' winning streak at
Kevin's on the mic right now.
Allegiant Stadium.
Hold on,
Gil, I just want to say thank you so much for hooking me up with a game with tickets in the past. You're a wonderful guy, and thank you for everything that you've done for Murf, Raiders Fan Radio, and the One Nation Foundation. Appreciate you.
You got it, man. I'm here for you guys. You guys helped me through the tough times. Definitely Mosh, Murf, Sonny, Swag, all those. Michelle, whoever I forget, well, I'm listening. But
that's okay,
no,
Gil. Thanks, man. Thanks for helping these guys out.
Everybody's welcome. Please come by.
I'm really glad that you guys got to see the Raiders finally beat the Chiefs, stop the Chiefs winning at Allegiant Stadium, and walking out of there on a high note. And that's all I wanted to say was
If the Giants didn't win, I was okay with losing, but it's just icing on the cake. So
well, and I'm just so happy for your wife, Gil, that it was her birthday. You know, to get a win on your birthday is huge.
Yeah, that's true, but she's had 3 drinks.
and wasn't that like our first divisional win in like the longest time ever?
Oh, good call out, Kev. Yeah,
it was 11 in a row. So there you go.
That's
right. So anyway, I just want to say thank you. Thank you guys. Thank you, Chief. Thank you, everyone there. Appreciate you guys. Have a good one. See you next
time. Thanks, brother.
All right. Thank you, Kev.
We appreciate you stopping by,
Everybody
Kevin.
else, stop by.
All right, there you go. There's Gil. I love it, man. All right, Murph, listen, man, we know, and I'll fill everybody in. I want to let you go so your wife can get warm, get in the car and put the heater on.
She's dying. I'm watching her shiver in the back of Gil's truck over here.
Oh my gosh. Tell her when I see her next, I will provide a bottle of nice warmth for her. So she can be up for that'll be her pay for helping you out there. But my man, I'm so glad you were out there to see it. I know we'll talk down the line here, but thank you so much for being part of this post-game show and for everything you do with the One Nation Foundation with you and Michelle and Jeff and everybody else involved. And just have a safe trip home. Enjoy the rest of your time there in Vegas, and we'll talk to you soon, my friend.
Absolutely, brother. And Scott, before we let you go real fast, and I'll shut up, thank you so much for welcoming me and the RFR crew to this platform each and every year. We absolutely love these post-game shows. It's so great to not only interact with you, but all the amazing video drop-ins that happen every year. We cannot thank you and everybody else that's out there was willing to give a dopey little podcast like ours a platform, not only for our podcast, but for our foundation, the One Nation Foundation. So thank you, brother Scott. And we need to see you again soon, man. You need to get down to the RFR fan cave, man, so we can get you in the studio once again.
I wanted to get down during the season. We couldn't make that happen, but I will definitely be down there soon. I've been itching to come down, so we will do that very soon. Have a safe trip, my friend. Thanks again.
All right, brother. Thank you, Scott. Love you, man. Good night, Raider Nation. Let's go.
All right, there you go. There's Murph live from Las Vegas. You gotta love that. Right from Lot J, where I'm sure there was some drinking and eating going on earlier in the day. And of course, the Raiders with a nice win for all of you out there, 14-12 over the Chiefs. Again, they finished 3-14. That's not great. But again, Raider Nation singing ABBA. Hear the drums, Fernando Mendoza. I know some of you might want another quarterback. I disagree with you, but we got lots of time to talk about. In fact, Mo and I will be back this week. We're going to start diving deep on this. We anticipate some news, so we'll see if the Black Monday holds true for Pete Carroll tomorrow, which I believe it will, as the Raiders need to move into future mode quickly. Get ready for this draft where they have 11 picks, $120 million in cap space. Got a lot of work to do, as you know, as you watched all the games this season like me. So we're excited to be able to talk to you about that in the month and two coming up here as we go towards the NFL draft. And don't forget, check out the onenationfoundation.net, onenationfoundation.net, which is what Murph and Michelle and Jeff do with their nonprofit helping out Raiders charities, the Blitnikoff Foundation, Raider Dad out in Las Vegas, who gets kids out to games. All that stuff is such great stuff. Make sure you check that out as well. We'll be back on Tuesday. We're thinking if there's no news on the coaching front, either way, on Tuesday, we might push the show to Wednesday. So stay tuned to our X handle or anywhere else you follow us. We'll update you there as Mo and I return to talk about what's next for the Raiders. We're not going to talk about what's in the past anymore. We won't talk about the Chiefs game anymore. We're going to talk about Raiders coaching search. We're going to talk about the draft. We got guests coming on to talk about these kids, including Fernando Mendoza. So get ready for that. As always, make sure you subscribe to the podcast wherever you get your audio. And if you're watching us on video, don't forget that thumbs up. Also hit the subscribe button and that notifications bell so you know every time we have a new video. For our producer, Mike Robier over at Odyssey, for Murph and the crew out in Las Vegas, I'm Scott Gulbransen. This has been Silver and Black Today, the post-game edition. Raiders 14-12 winners in Week 18 over the Chiefs. Get ready for the draft, Raider Nation. Thanks for being with us. And as always, take care of one another. Bye-bye now.